the definition of mental illness, it will tell you very vaguely that it means that there is an imbalance with the brain, basically. When your brain is unbalanced, what does that mean? Does it mean that you don't think like most people? You see things other people don't see? Do you feel what others don't feel? Are you extra sensitive? Are you really creative? Do you just not fit into the box that the world has tried to fit you into? Mental illness is such a strange subject. If you're watching this video and you believe that I am giving you medical advice, I'm not. I'm giving you personal experience. Often people with mental illness end up in jail or prison because they can't function in society. We structured a world and said, okay, this is normal, guys. Everyone do it this way. Nations are born from our imagination. Imagine nation. So we live in this idea of what mental illness is. We know of about 5% of our brains, I believe. We know about 5 to 8% of the depths of our ocean. Yet, we know what mental illness is? Okay. The personal things that I have seen, I've felt, I've been through my sensors, because again, we have sight, smell, hear, taste, and feel. Those are supposedly the 5 senses we have. Who decided that we don't have 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 senses? I for surely have a 6th sense. It's called intuition. It's a very fine-tuned sense that you have to tap into. You have to know where it is, where the energy comes from, and things like that. We have more than 5 senses, and some people are extra sensitive to these senses because they're more heightened. I'm very unlike most of the people I interact with, most of the people I come into contact with, because not because I'm special, but what I'm trying to express is I believe that mental illness is directly correlated, directly connected to parts of the brain that would allow us to be able to stand on our own 2 feet, be able to function without so much medication, doctor visits, court systems, these things that keep us mentally trapped. They've got us mentally imprisoned. Bob Marley said it best: emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. And that was 70, 80 years ago, guys. I'm guessing, but he died young. I believe there's a direct correlation to people born before their time. The spirit comes into that realm, that dimension, in order to express a message to help elevate us into a future further direction. So I believe he came to share the messages he shared to help elevate the planet to kind of what we're going through today. Just like Tupac, he did the same thing. He had a message that was just before his time. I mean, he was like 25, guys, when he died. Like, do you guys understand? If you don't know Tupac, I'm really sorry for you. But there's other creative geniuses, for example. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I'm gonna say this. I assume people like Steve Jobs, mental illness. People that do certain types of psychedelics experience an heightened experience that, you know, they're able to perceive beyond this realm. Most people in Hollywood that we cherish and idolize have done psychedelics and or suffer from severe mental illness. Most musicians, artists suffer from mental illness. There are parts of the brain that we have not fully tapped into to been able to identify. So when people experience, you know, something that's abnormal, we go into the side of our brain that, you know, the world didn't teach us about. They didn't teach us in school. You have the 6th sense ability to feel beyond the unseen realms, the supernatural, being able to sense the supernatural realms, being able to be psychic or clairvoyant, intuitive, clairvoyance, being able to visually see things even in your mind. Sometimes people, I believe mental illness is connected to the parts of our brain that would tell us that we're superhuman. And superhuman, what does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? Why do we love superheroes? Why do some people just know, feel, and sense more than just this. But then some don't. What is that? Why is it that those that feel more are crazy and those that don't feel more aren't? Or they believe what they're told versus those that, forge their own path. Any Disney film or, movie that's super inspiring, the main character is always that one that's just different from everybody else, right? Like, either something's about that special character to where they're different from the rest, right? Why is it that special character is always like what we would call someone with mental illness, yet we're medicating them? What's the medication for? To suppress? Why is an imagination considered a problem? Why is ADD a problem? Maybe I'm supposed to play the drums. Maybe I'm supposed to be moving and learning. Maybe I'm not like you, and maybe I don't want to sit still. Maybe my brain really does go far. Imagination is how we got all the things that we have. All the movies you like, all the music you like, all the art you like. Most artists were mentally ill, guys. Either mentally ill, mentally unstable, whatever. A lot of them, Nikola Tesla, brilliant mind of our past, he was known to be in contact with higher dimensional beings, aliens, he called them. He was one of the first people to document aliens. He was just his own person that was just brilliant. Why is that? Today, Nikola Tesla in 3rd grade would be medicated. They would medicate him. Yet today, a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old or whatever, a young kid that has a far imagination, it's like the never-ending story, deeply in his imagination, being able to realize that he is part of the story, and being able to imagine the story and also connect to the story and believe, right? He had to believe because he was that kid that was drawing unicorns in math class. Just like Moana, how, she's told by her village people and her family, like, not to do what she did, but what did she do? She forged her own path. What did Frozen teach us? Frozen, same thing. She teaches us to follow that inner voice. Frozen is talking about intuition. These movies, I could literally go on. These are just a few of my favorites. But they're always telling you to forge your own path, because the world tries to lay you out this path, and a lot of people with mental illness will suffer from bipolar disorder or schizophrenia or manic depression. The Joker is just the most beautiful psychiatric mental illness documentation visual experience ever. Like, what? They did so good on that. For the longest time, the Joker's the bad guy, and now you get to see what the school shooter's thinking. You get to see what the mental patient is going through. It's not to justify the actions. It's to realize there is not enough help in our society there's not enough facilities and treatments for people with mental illness. There's just medication and sending people on their way or putting them in jail or prison. So many people in jail and prison right now have mental illness. And if we had centers, places, schools, even, if we had schools that could teach people how to deal with their mental illness and not even call it an illness, let's call it an extra sense, super ability. It's an ability. There's definitely people with disability. There's disability and there's super ability. And then there's like normal. Most people forget who they are, who they want to be, and if they're creative, what they are passionate about. A lot of time mental illness is due to the fact of mood disorders. So if you have a mood disorder, you're unhappy. You're unhappy, well, do something that makes you happy. A lot of time we can't do something that makes us happy because we're unhappy. We have to go to work and sit in a box and a cube and live in these traps of cycles, every day you're in this cyclic, no, never. They're trapping us. Mental slavery. This is mental slavery, guys. And I just want to help bring a little bit of awareness to mental illness, what it really truly is. It's a pandemic. We're talking about this other pandemic. This is the real pandemic. We aren't taking care of our people. We're not taking care of our tribe. It takes a village to raise a child. Are we doing that? No. Families are separated. Moms are drunk and alcoholic. Dads leave. There's more going on. There's more to this world than just this physical, okay? More than just the physical. There is so much around us. We have an energetic field around us. You have an aura. You have an energy body. You just don't physically see it. Do you know on the electromagnetic spectrum, we see about this much. And there's so much that we can measure, but very little that we can see. That does not mean that those that have super sense, those that have the extra ability to sense the other realms, the other higher things, are crazy. Like, we have to start acknowledging that some of the greatest minds of our time have been quote unquote crazy. Being able to tap into the left brain, the right brain, being able to go back and forth. This is a beautiful thing. We should not call it mental illness. It's not an illness. We need to start helping our people. We need to start pushing for a change in our systems. Our systems are broken. We need to fix them. We need more services that actually help. Trust and believe. Money can be printed. Like, why do we have so many telemarketers, but we can't have proper mental health care? Like, what? You're telling me that we can have, because again, if the world is a whole bunch, I don't know, out of 100% of the money and 100% of all the businesses and stuff, you're telling me because we live in a capitalistic society, we don't have enough funding for mental health? No, that's not, guys. 1 in 5 people have mental health issues. We've got to do something. We've got to change this. If we had more options for people, we wouldn't be so helpless. We wouldn't be so clueless. And we also would be mentally healthy. Let's help change our world. Let's come together and start saying no. We have to change this world. We are all connected. We are all energetically connected. And we've got to come together and start raising the vibration, so that way those that are low vibration and in control of all this, we can get them out. It's time for us to take back our worlds. It's time for us to claim our power and stop labeling people and becoming victims to what they tell us we are. We're not mentally ill. We're creative, we're geniuses, we're inventors, we're musicians, we're artists, we're singers, we're dancers, and we feel. And if you are heard, I hear you, and I hope this video can help others hear you as well. Please, if you like this video, please comment below, subscribe, and share with someone that maybe is going through mental illness or mental health issues, that maybe just to comfort them, to make them feel better, to show them that you care and that you're trying to understand. Share this with somebody that's going through it, because I've been through it and I understand. I understand from the bottom of my heart, and I hope to help bring the world closer to an understanding of what you're going through, what we're all going through. Let's make a better world.